So, என்ன பண்ணலாம்?
Audibility problem is there, madam.
A very happy morning, one and all connected with this online platform. I welcome you all to the international webinar on developing self-confidence through soft skill orientation during COVID-19 pandemic situation, ICSSR Impress project sponsored in association with College of Education, Ayappa University. I am Jahitha, research scholar under the guidance of Ma'am Dr. M. Parimala Fatima, Assistant Professor in Physical Science, take the privilege of anchoring this August gathering. Now, I request Dr. G. Rajeshwari Ma'am, Assistant Professor in Biological Science, Co-Project Director, ICSSR Impress, to welcome the gathering. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am, please, ma'am.
A pleasant good morning to each and every one of you. I deem it great privilege to welcome you all to this two-day international webinar on developing self-confidence through soft skill orientation during COVID-19 pandemic situation. It is sponsored from ICSSR Impress project. As we know, soft skills are the personal attributes that are very much essential for success in everyone's life. Communication skills, decision-making skills, self-motivation, self-confidence, leadership skills, time management, team working skills, creativity, problem-solving skills, and even the ability to work under pressure are some of the important soft skills. They play a vital role in enhancing the effectiveness and inner strength, particularly in this pandemic situation. So self-confidence, one of the elements of soft skills, can be understood as the feeling of trust in one's abilities, qualities, judgment, and belief or confidence in oneself that one can handle the challenges as they arise. So it is related with self-awareness, that is how well a person is aware of his or her own strengths and weaknesses. So developing self-confidence of individuals is the need of the hour. So thus this theme was conceived and to be organized as an international webinar. So on behalf of the organizing committee, I express my sincere thanks to, sincere gratitude to the Vice Chancellor Officiating Committee, Dr. D. Karthikeyan, IAS Principal Secretary, Department of Higher Education, Government of Tamil Nadu, and members, Dr. R. Swaminathan, Honorable Member of Syndicate, Ayappa University, the Principal, Vidyagiri College of Arts and Science, Puduvayal Karaikudi, and Dr. T.R. Gurumurthy, Honorable Member of Syndicate, and Professor and Head, Department of Commerce, Ayappa University, for granting us permission to conduct this two-day international webinar. And I wholeheartedly thank our respected Registrar of Ayappa University, Professor C. Shekhar, for his support and encouragement in organizing this event. I deem it great pleasure in welcoming Dr. R. Swaminathan, Member, BC Officiating Committee, and Honorable Member of Syndicate of Ayappa University, and Principal of Vidyagiri College of Arts and Science, Puduvayal Karaikudi. He is an eminent educationist and an able administrator. And I thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and raising this occasion by your virtual presence here. I'm very kind enough to offer a keynote address for this international webinar. So on behalf of the organizing committee, I wholeheartedly welcome you, sir. And I extend my warm welcome to the speakers of the day, Dr. A. Jahitha Begum, Professor, Department of Education, Gandhigram Rural Institute, Dindikkal. Thank you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation, and we are very eager to listen to your special lecture on developing self-confidence through social cognition during COVID-19 pandemic situation. So on behalf of the organizing committee, I sincerely welcome you, ma'am. I extend my warm welcome to Dr. T.G. Amudavalli, Professor and Head, Department of Education, Shri Padmavati Mahila Vishwavidyalayam, Andhra Pradesh, and she is going to enlighten us on the theme, Developing Self-Confidence Through Emotional Balance During COVID-19 Pandemic Situation. So on behalf of the organizing committee, I sincerely welcome you, ma'am. And I welcome Dr. A. Balu, Principal, Arhappa University College of Education, and the coordinator of this program. I thank him for his continuous support and encouragement. And I also welcome Dr. Sujatha Malini, Dean, Faculty of Education, and various heads of departments of Arhappa University, and the faculty members of our own institution, and from other departments, and from faculty members of from other institutions, research scholars, and diversified participants from other institutions. I once again welcome one and all. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Dr. M. Parimala Fatima, Assistant Professor in Physical Science, to present thematic address. Over to you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Geeta. Good morning, everyone. We, the project directors, M. Parimala Fatima, Dr. G. Rajeshwari, Dr. M. Shanmuga Revadi, have been sanctioned the ICSR Impress project, that is in total 14 lakhs and 25,000. We are really proud of being the faculty members from Azhagappa University. Here, we have been sanctioned the project entitled Developing Rural Muslims, Developing Self-Confidence through Soft Skill Training Program among rural Muslim undergraduate students. We have taken undergraduate Muslim students from our own Azhagappa University. 45 affiliated college students have been taken for our research project. Here in this, the level of confidence of rural Muslim students is an important factor in educational success as well as in daily life. Building self-confidence in rural Muslim students is one of the most important part of their lives for a healthy and successful life. When rural female Muslim students lose self-confidence, they may lose motivation in learning and their personal life. By building trust among rural female students, parents can protect the most important component of success, which is motivation. So we, the project directors, try to give motivation for their leading life through our projects. The novelty of the research project is sensitizing the backward Muslim undergraduate rural women students towards a soft skill training which has a prominent position in day-to-day life. Rural women attain socio-political participation and economic independence. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Dr. R. Swaminathan, Member VC Officiating Committee, Syndicate Member, Principal Correspondent of Vidyadhari Group of Institution, Puduvayal, to deliver keynote address. Sir is an alumnus of our university. We are proud to be being with us on this great occasion. Sir, please, sir.
Yes. Well, good morning to all. I'm audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Okay. So very good morning to all. Esteemed Dean, Faculty of Education, Azhagappa University, Dr. Sujatha Malini, esteemed Professor and Head of the Department of Education, Dr. Kalayarasan, Dr. P. Shivakumar from Distance Education, members of the syndicate, Dr. Gunasegaran, esteemed Principal, Azhagappa University College of Education, School of Education, Azhagappa University, Dr. Balu, the eminent speakers of the 2 days webinar, Professor and Head of Education, Gandhigram Rural Institute, Dr. Jahitha Begum, Professor and Head of the Education, Sri Padmavati Mahila Vishwavidyalaya, Dr. Amudavalli, Dean, Faculty of Education, Open University of Sri Lanka, Professor Sasikala Gunamurthy, Principal Faculty of Education, Dr. MGR Educational Research Institute, Dr. Geeta, the organizing secretaries, the convener and project director, Dr. Parimala Fatima, co-project director, Dr. Rajeshwari, co-project director, Dr. Shanmugha Revati, faculty members of Harappa University College of Education, Department of Education, Lifelong Learning, Directorate of Distance Education and other departments, research scholars, emerged scholars from Faculty of Education. Once again, a pleasant morning to all. Even during these difficult times for all of us, it still amazes and warms my heart. Education and self-development will not be deterred by a pandemic, which itself is a testament of our courage, perseverance, strength, and the will to overcome any obstacle. To that effect, I thank all of you for being a part of this webinar and proving that our collective human spirit will continue to enhance and advance knowledge no matter the circumstances. The subject title of this webinar encompasses 3 keywords. One is self-confidence, the other one is soft skills and COVID-19, which incidentally are so relevant in today's climate. Hard skills can easily be defined as knowledge attained to perform a specific task, say computer coding or video editing. However, defining soft skill is a little trickier as the attribute is intangible. The easiest way I can explain this is to tell you that all of you are present today are recipients of the soft skill by just participating in this webinar. Since the outbreak of COVID-19, webinars, video conferencing, and online learning have become the new and current norm. It has become the norm now. And communication is a vital component of that. We are all fine-tuning the channels of communication. Even while I am speaking to you right now, I am in fact of trying to incorporate communication skills so that my message is coherent and audible. If you require a more detailed definition of soft skill, even Wikipedia details soft skill as qualities, behaviors, and attributes needed to succeed in the workplace. These include interpersonal skills, teamwork, time management, and productivity. While these traits are often thought to come naturally to some people and forever elude others, they can be taught and developed. There is so much more to the scope of soft skills. As rightly pointed out in the invitation, adaptability, that is social adjustment, is a part of the soft skill. In a recent report published in the Wall Street Journal, which I read recently, it states that the only constant in life and in business is change. Normally, we are not accepting change. Even in our life, change is permanent. Even in the business, change is permanent. Even in education, change is permanent. Employees who thrive in a dynamic environment and bounce back quickly in the face of challenges or the ones who can handle anything that comes in their way. So that we have to adopt the change. That effectively means we should embrace change and not oppose it. If our mentality resists change, then we are not allowing ourselves to adopt to the evolving environment and thus not moving forward and rendering the mind unevolved. Let me cite an example here. I have met teachers who were clueless on their phone's capacity. They have phones, smartphones with them, or they are not aware of the thing in the phone. What is the capacity of the phone or capability before this pandemic? Some didn't even know the true extent of a smartphone, but now they are so phone savvy so much so that they can teach their kids a trick or two of their smartphone. That is an element of soft skill that we needed during a pandemic to adopt quickly to the technology, since classes were conducted through online mode. Another one component in the soft skill I have to touch upon is the teamwork. Teamwork is also a key component in soft skill. If you do not interact cohesively on a project with other members, it is more likely that the project will shatter and crumble. When the Mars rover recently landed on the red planet, there were 118 personals involved in directly maneuvering and coordinating the descent of the rover from the rocket. That took precise navigation, but more importantly, that took immaculate teamwork. That is very important. The moral is, if you work well in a team, the sky is the limit. The other component here is to touch is the leadership. Leadership is also part of the equation of the soft skill. I am sure you have heard the age-old argument on whether leaders are born or made. I tend to lean towards the notion that leaders are made, not born. Barack Obama wasn't a born leader, but his determination, his vast knowledge, communication skills, and the ability to inspire led him to be the first African American president, which itself is a monumental achievement, considering America's prejudicial system. At a young age, his mother introduced him to the world of books and directed his focus on knowledge and self-development. During his presidential campaign, he used to rehearse them in front of a mirror for hours because he knew that he had to get his message across clearly, that would resonate with the critics. He was a self-made leader because he took the effort in perfecting his soft skills. Throughout history, you will find evidence of leaders that are made and not born. They became leaders largely due to their unwavering self-belief and establishing excellent interpersonal rapport between them and the public. Make no mistakes, ladies and gentlemen, this pandemic and lockdown, with all of its challenges, has proved the perfect storm to test and develop these skills. More than ever, these skills are so relevant and much required, not only during pandemic or crisis, but essentially forever. I am certain that these special lectures by eminent professors that proceed in this webinar will enlighten and amplify your soft skills, especially since we are truly honored by the presence of such luminaries who will be conducting these lectures. I would like to thank the organizers, Dr. Parimala Fatima, Dr. Rajeshwari, and Dr. Shanmuga Revadi for organizing this wonderful webinar and giving opportunity for various participants to know more about this topic through developing self-confidence through soft skills during this period is really remarkable, and I'm very much thankful for their coordinated efforts in presenting in this forum. I thank you and congratulate once again the Harappa University College of Education for organizing this webinar, and I thank you one and all and wish you good health and cheer. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful perspectives on this webinar. Now, I request Dr. A. Balu, Principal, Harappa University College of Education, to felicitate the gathering. Sir, over to you, sir.
எல்லோருக்கும் வணக்கம். A warm and pleasant morning to all. Really, I am very happy to organizing this webinar. The international seminar on developing self-confidence through soft skill orientation during COVID-19 pandemic situation. Really, this is the very good one topic. First, I welcome our Harappa University College of Education Vice Chancellor Officiating Committee, Convener Dr. R. Swaminathan, sir. Really, I am very happy, sir. Happy to you, happy, and thanks to you because we are waiting for this. Your head of this this conference, sir. Really, I am very happy, and also we are one umbrella under the umbrella of Harappa University Department of Education, Professor Dr. S. Mohan, sir. Sir, please don't mistake me. I will give the one correct point to this time. This is the brain child of Professor Dr. S. Mohan, sir. In other words, Dr. Parimala Fatima is a child of Prof. Dr. S. Mohan, sir. Not only Parimala Fatima, we are the child of Prof. Dr. S. Mohan, sir. Now I will give the one historical point, sir. Actually, this conference is Alappa University College of Education milestone of this year. Really, I am very happy, sir. This is a very critical situation. Dr. Parimala Fatima, Dr. Parimala Fatima and other Raseswari, Sanmur Revadi, the group, the teamwork is very good, sir. And I will give the I wish to the this conference successfully completed the 2 days conference, sir. And other faculty members, staff and students, I welcome. Really, I wish and I happy to this conference. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, sir. Dear participants, now we will move on to special lecture. Now I request Dr. A. Jahitha Begum, ma'am, Professor and Head, Department of Education, Gandhigram Rural Institute, Dindigul, to present special lecture on developing self-confidence through social cognition during COVID-19 pandemic situation. Ma'am, we are fortunate enough to have you on this great occasion, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Most respected members of VC Officiating Committee and syndicate members of Alagappa University, Dr. R. Swaminathan, Dr. T.R. Gurumurthy, Professor Segar, Registrar of Alagappa University, Dr. A. Balu, Principal of Alagappa University College of Education, Organizing Secretaries Dr. Parimala Fatima, Dr. G. Rajeshwari and Dr. M. Shanmuga Revati. I thank Almighty for giving this opportunity for meeting you all, and it is my privilege to offer the presentation about self-confidence through social cognition. First of all, I feel very happy that Dr. Parimala Fatima and her team has got this project and also organizing a meaningful webinar during this COVID times, how to develop self-confidence through soft skills to the Muslim women, and also they have taken this challenge to organize during this COVID times. So I really felt happy and congratulate the team, and it is my privilege to be a alumni of Alagappa University, to be in the Department of Education, Alagappa University, and it is a webinar in a need of the hour. So I convey my heartfelt congratulations to the team as well as the participants of this seminar. Dear friends, we all know that self-confidence is an essential component of life. Self-confidence, but for self-confidence, we cannot achieve anything in this world. And we need education, we need life skills such as communication skill and how to communicate with people, as rightly pointed out during the keynote address by Dr. Swaminathan, that communication is very, very essential in all aspects of the life. So all the life skills are very essential, and we should have all these skills in a blended manner to achieve success in life. As Dr. Parimala Fatima pointed out that this skill, this webinar is really meant for the backward rural women, that it is meant for them, especially as Sachar committee has pointed out, Muslim women, they are lagging behind in majority of the skills as well as in general education. So it is the duty to present the people, the needed people, whether they are Muslim or any downtrodden community, SC/ST, that they should have the required education as well as they should have the skills that is essential to uplift them in the community. So, dear friends, it is again it is my duty to congratulate the people, congratulate the educationists who have taken this program in a successful manner to educate the people, especially rural Muslim women. Because education is the fundamental aspect, and but for education we can't achieve anything. And now we will move to the presentation, that is how to improve social cognition among the individuals and how this social cognition is leading to self-confidence. I think the slides are visible now. Yes? Can you see the slides? PPT is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So we know cognition, first of all, any mental activity or any mental activities that are going on in our brain, we term as cognition. And but for cognition, we can't understand anything in this world. And this terminology, social cognition, is very much different from cognition. That is how people are living in a society or community, how they interact with the people, and what they gain as a social community. Because man is a social animal, he can't live alone, and whatever he achieves in his community, he feels very happy along with his fellow persons. So social cognition is about the society, about the community, how the man interact with different types of people in the society and community. So we understand the environment, we understand our community, we understand our people, and man is a social animal. He feels very happy when he lives with other people. And social cognition, the general meaning is gathering and interpretation of information about the social world. We can't live alone. Suppose a person is very rich, he has crores and crores of money, but can he live alone in this world? No, he needs a lot of friends, he needs his family first of all, and he has to be, he will feel very happy in the midst of other people. So social cognition is how he perceives the society and fellow beings and his friends and the community, and everything is termed as social cognition, and it is activated by our understanding that we call as schemas. So in social psychology, the way the people influence other people is studied in an elaborate manner. For example, in a community, the person's behavior differ according to the people that he is meeting. For example, among his friends, he may be very happy. In front of his relatives, his behavior may be somewhat different, and the same person will behave in a very different way when he meets some other people. So the social influence is very important, and social cognition, that is how people think about others, how people perceive themselves among other people, that is termed as social cognition here. And the success of the person depends upon the social interaction, how he mingles with others, how the integrity of a person. For example, if you take any educational institution, the people and students, they like a personality when the person behaves with his teachers or with his fellow beings or with his friends or with the students in a very good manner. That is called social interaction. So the positive aspects of a person depends upon his social interaction, whereas some people we don't like if his behavior is not up to the mark in the group or called in the community. So this is the important aspect of social psychology. But in this present situation, the COVID situation, our behavior is somewhat under pressure, isn't it? We should not go out, we cannot move friendly with our people, and we should be away from other people, that is social distancing and all. So it is somewhat difficult for us. But an intelligent person knows how to connect with his friends and people through ICT. Even this seminar we are conducting through online. So he will not lose his connectivity due to this COVID times. Even during the COVID times, we are connected with our friends, we are connected with our people, and even we are doing all our work through virtual mode or online mode. So this social psychology gains importance to the students, not only the students of education, but also all the people. And even our principal, Dr. Balu, has pointed out that we need, this seminar is very important and we need people, even we people like the educationist and academician, we are connected through all our universities and friends through online mode. So when comes to the individual, at the time of birth or even after the child is 1 year or 2 years, the knowledge of self is growing at that time, isn't it? Normally it is said that the children are egocentric. They will not leave anything to others, children or other people. They feel very much, they are very much egocentric when they grow up. And they have, even at that time, even when they are very young, they have their abilities, attitudes, values, etc., isn't it? Their children will beautifully, they will answer many questions like, who are you, who is your friend, who is your mother and father. Even they will not part with their friends or their parents or their playthings to anybody else. So at the time, the knowledge of self is growing, and that is called self-concept. So the self-concept is a prerequisite of self-confidence. So first of all the people must have very good self-concept about themselves, that is called self-esteem also. So this self-concept is growing from the preschoolers, and it is developing to a good extent at the age of 8 to 11. At the time of adolescence, they only worry about self-confidence concept. They will not worry about their parents or their relatives or anything else. For adolescents, they always respect their friends and they always respect their feelings. That's why even we teachers, we should be very careful when we handle the adolescents. For example, because of the reason, as a cognitive scientist, I can say that their forebrain, that is the prefrontal cortex, develops only after the age of 20. So before 20, whatever they think that is very important, what is important to them, their friends and their feelings. That's why we should not humiliate a student in front of others. We teachers, we should be very careful that we should not humiliate teenage students in front of others. And even I have written an article that teachers and parents, we have to behave prefrontal cortex. We are the prefrontal cortex to them. So that to that extent, we have to take care of them, because we should not let their self-confidence to go down, and we have to help them to raise their self-confidence. And there are many experiments in the field of psychology and social psychology. They have conducted many experiments with children, how their self-confidence is, what about their self-esteem, and how, what is the level of their self-concept, etc., etc. So this social cognition is very important for self-confidence. Even now, in this pandemic situation, we have sometimes psychologically, people are psychologically affected because they are not meeting their friends, they are not meeting, doing all the work by their own. So they have to depend upon some people, some others for their to complete their daily work. The people who are affected by disease, corona and all, they have lost their self-confidence, and it is very pathetic that this self-confidence is very important during this period of diseases and all. So psychologically they will be affected, and all the other aspects will go down once if their self-confidence is goes down. So this social cognition is considered as a very important subject in research in the cognitive science area. And whatever we perceive, whatever we have, whatever the cognitive skills we possess, everything depends upon our social cognition only. So there are many theories regarding this social cognition and theories of mind. We know mind is the process functioning of our brain, and we perceive ourselves. At the same time, we have to understand others also, isn't it? If we don't understand others, whatever may be a great personality or whatever we are in a highest position, we have to cut a sorry figure before others. People used to say he's very good person, but he is very high in his grade and all, but he will not understand others. That is the main problem for him, isn't it? If somebody comments as like this, what will happen? So immediately our personality will be underestimated by others. So we have to understand the emotions of others. First of all, we have to understand our own emotions, and we should be in a position to understand others' emotions also. That is called empathy sometimes. And we have to share our ideas with others. At the same time, we have to take valuable ideas from others also. So all these aspects are very important for social cognition. So self-esteem, in Tamil we used to say tan madippu, isn't it? If a person is not valuing himself as in a high position, then automatically he will look down by others also, isn't it? At the same time, overconfidence and superiority complex is also not good. So self-esteem is very important for self-confidence, and we should develop our self-esteem and self-confidence in a right way. So here we can see that self-confidence or self-esteem is very important for a person to become a leader. And sometimes the teachers, the B.Ed students, they compare themselves with some medical students and engineers, and they will say, I'm studying B.Ed, I'm going to become a teacher, that's all, isn't it? Like that, their self-esteem will be very low. But when they think that I'm a social engineer, I am a person, I am more than a doctor, because the teaching profession is the mother of all profession, I am going to create all profession in this world, like that, definitely his self-esteem will go high. So this self-esteem play an important role in all the aspects, and especially we teachers and we academicians, and especially the project taken by this team, we have to develop the self-esteem and self-confidence among the economically backward and educationally backward, especially women also, rural women also, because they must be trying to possess these skills, and they must be trying to earn money by themselves by becoming entrepreneurs and all. But once they know many skills and many sort of aspects for their daily earning, definitely automatically their self-esteem and self-confidence will go high. So a person's self-esteem and self-confidence depends upon the present position and also the skills that he possesses. And culture is playing a very important role in the self-esteem. For example, if you take Islam, the Muslim community, the very first word uttered by Quran is read, that is educate. But how the people in India, they have taken by some sorts of tricks played by the British, that is divide and rule and all, they have spoiled their education with by not going to the schools and madrasas and colleges, and they think that our culture is not permitting us to become the educated personalities and all. It is not like so. All the inventions in this world, if you go back to the history, it is invented by majority of the Muslim people, and it is not revealed properly. But what happened in our country due to British rule and all, the people who are going to education, they will be given punishments like that. They perceive themselves and the people, even the Muslims, they denied education for their families, their children, and their women. So culture play an important role in the self-esteem of the people. So we have to think about the culture and all. And this influence of self-esteem is very important on people belong to all sorts of people, even some communities. And we have it traces anywhere and everywhere. And there are three, this triangle denotes that behavior and cognitive factors and the environment, that is situational factor, everything, all the three factors are interconnected with each other. And these are all depends upon the emotions of the people. So self-esteem, emotions-based assessment is very important. Then, I have already pointed out that the adolescent period is very important period for the people of self-esteem, and they will think that they are very, they had a very high self-esteem. That is, adolescents always worry about their self-esteem, and all of the self-esteem, self-confidence, regulation, everything is interconnected, and it depends upon many aspects like how people accept them, what is their scholastic competence, and some people may be good in their athletics and all. And even sometimes people who are very handsome or very beautiful, they will think that they have very high self-esteem. Like that, there are many factors for self-esteem and self-efficacy. And Bandura is the famous person, that is famous educationist, who has done a lot of research on self-esteem and self-efficacy, and he brought out many research and findings that self-esteem affects a person in a very good aspect. So he only coined this terminology, social cognition, and he formulated the theory of social cognition. And this theory states that for the better self-confidence, a person must, first of all, he has to evaluate himself, isn't it? However we are good, however we are very intelligent, we must self-evaluate first of all, isn't it? We should know what are our strength and what are our weakness and how to overcome this weakness and all. So for any individual, we need self-observation, and through self-observation is nothing but we are reflecting upon our own abilities and our own limitations, and we have to self-evaluate, and we have to react according to our strength and weakness, and that is called our self-efficacy also. So in any performing any task, these are very essential. So the project directors, I request them to please see that all this self aspect, that is their self-observation and then self-evaluation, their self-reaction and self-efficacy, we have to give them lot of tasks and required skills to improve all such aspects and all. So any changes in the self-esteem will leads to many problems in life, isn't it? Some people will believe that I can't do this work, it is not possible for me, and they have very low opinion about themselves, and they will be lagging behind in other aspects also. Sometimes they will develop some sort of stress, and it will lead to some health problems also. So dear friends, we have to be very careful when examining ourselves as well as in understanding others also. Whenever we speak about the self-confidence, we can quote some leaders, isn't it? Our educational leaders and even our national leaders. Nowadays, only political leaders are existing, but previous days we have seen many national leaders, isn't it? Like Dr. Radhakrishnan, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. They are our educational leaders as well as our national leaders, and they have more self-confidence, and they strongly believe that our country can become a self-reliant country, and also we will be leading the world in many aspects. That's why we got freedom from the British, and we set our own country. And up to this 67 and 70 years, we have struggled a lot to make our country among the in the global level, that to make our country an independent nation that is fulfilled in all aspects. So our leaders, especially our national leaders, had lot of self-confidence. That's why they achieved in bringing India up to this level. And they have a strong belief in their capability also. Always it is said, when a person has high self-esteem, he possesses the leadership quality also. So when his self-esteem goes down, then automatically his self-confidence also goes down. So these higher levels of self-confidence will make a person a leader in all other aspects. So the leaders in each and everyone's field is different, because in house, if you, for example, if you take a housewife, she is a leader in making home. We should not underestimate her capabilities and all. So many families are successful. Even the housewives are not educated, but they are successful in making the home, in making her family, and her husband and children in a very good manner, because of her self-esteem and her self-confidence. So low levels of self-confidence will leads to lot of problems, and we should not let our feelings to go down, especially in this pandemic situation. So my dear friends, there is lot of research is going on nowadays in brain and brain science. What are the brain parts that are responsible for self-esteem and self-confidence? How this social cognition, that is a person's intelligence in the society, in the community, in his own level, it plays an important role. There is a lot of research that is going on nowadays. So we should be in a position to study all these things. We are the people of teacher education have a lot of chances to study all these characteristics and criteria of self-confidence and all. So with our knowledge, we can develop our own self-confidence, and also we can develop others' self-confidence with the help of social cognitive theories, its attributes, its criteria, its principles. We can develop. It is very much possible. Many researchers are nowadays, it is proved that self-confidence can be developed by many strategies of social cognitive theory. So we need this self-confidence, and we have to be, we should be like ladders, or we can say we should be like lifts. We have to develop our own self-confidence, as well as we have to bring the self-confidence of the people that are surrounded by us. So however, we are high in our self-confidence, but for confidence on Almighty, we can't achieve anything, because He is the superpower. Almighty is the superpower, and whatever we achieve, it is through the superpower, because we never imagined this situation, that is this COVID situation at present, and Almighty is testing us. Almighty is testing us with a lot of His power, that how the human beings, whatever good or bad that is committing now, will leads to his own destruction, isn't it? So it is the time of testing, and we should be very careful, and we have to understand our situation, and we have to behave according to the pandemic situation. That is the main aspect, and it is the duty of each and every educated person that he has to develop some sort of self-confidence among the disadvantaged people, among the uneducated people, and the people who are living nearby. So it is not possible for each and everyone to take a project and help the people, but we can do help, and we can do the service as teachers, as well as people of social cognitive activists. We can do our duty by helping others, by raising the self-confidence with our strategies, whatever we have designed and planned, whatever we have come across in the research and all, we can test these strategies with our people. So, my dear friends, I really thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to speak about my views on social cognition, on self-confidence, and also I congratulate them for taking up this novel aspect of project, that is how to improve the self-confidence of through social skills and all, how to develop the social skills of undereducated or the disadvantaged community like rural Muslim women. And I too take up a project in Madurai Kamaraj University to give the computer skills to the Muslim women, because we know very well that the women especially are not educated and they are not coming out of their homes to have education and all, and especially in the field of ICT and all, they are very much lagging behind. And I took 100 Muslim women, and at present 50 of them are self-employed and employed in all other aspects also. So I just provided them basic computer skills, and now I can, whenever I go to Salem, I meet the people and they will come and greet me. At that time I didn't remember at all who are they, but they used to say, "Madam, you only educated us up to this level, and now we are employed, and now our family problems are almost solved, because we are also an earning member in our family." And they are some of them have completed many degree courses by themselves, and now they have all sorts of facilities in their life. So I am very proud to say that I have improved self-confidence of 100 Muslim women, and like that these project directors and the team will improve the self-confidence of not only Muslim women, because I don't see any caste or creed when approaching the people. Anybody who is not up to the mark, any disadvantaged community or any socially deprived people, it is our responsibility to see that they are coming up in their life. So thank you, Dr. Parimala Fatima. Thank you, Dr. Balu sir, principal. Thank you, Rajeshwari and Sanmuga Revati. I thank all the organizers, and it is my privilege to thank registrar and the members of the syndicate members. So thank you one and all. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Just I have outlined some of the aspects of social cognition that is assigned to me, the topic. I think other resource persons will highlight more on these two-day webinars. I'm very happy to have our madam from Sri Lanka, that tomorrow she is joining for international lecture from Sri Lanka. And I congratulate again and again Dr. Parimala Fatima. Thank you so much. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your inspirational and informative session. Thank you once again.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now I welcome Dr. T.J. Amudavalli, Professor and Head, Department of Education, Sri Padmavati Mahila Vishwa Vidyalayam, Andhra Pradesh, to deliver special lecture on developing self-confidence through emotional balance during COVID-19 pandemic situation. Welcome, ma'am. So over to you, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. You are audible, ma'am.
Yeah. So, good morning, everybody. I had the privilege to hear a very good session of one of my colleague friend, Madam's speech was really informative, and I thank the VC officiating committee of Alagappa University for giving me this opportunity. I also thank the registrar. I thank the coordinator, Dr. A. Balu Garu, and the organizing secretaries, Dr. M. Parimala Fatima, Dr. G. Rajeshwari, and Dr. M. Shanmuga Revati. It is I'm not a new one for Alagappa University. I have come many times, and I have very good friends there, and it is a very great opportunity for me to be here in this wonderful international webinar. And the title given to me also is really interesting. A very interesting title my friend Fatima has given me. I would like to share the screen. Please tell me if it is visible. 1 second, I'll be there.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
1 second, 1 second. One second. Yeah. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, right. I'm sorry because of this technological glitches. This one, the title given to me for this wonderful international webinar is the emotional balance and self-confidence during this pandemic, COVID-19 period. See, before I go into the theoretical aspects of this emotional balance and self-confidence, I would like to share some of my experiences, direct experience and indirect experience, which I had due to these emotions. As we all know, emotions is something which is very special to human being. Not only a human being, for all the living organisms, I think emotions of some little or less emotions are there. But for human beings, when the emotions are correlated or related or influenced by the cognitive aspect, then the emotions becomes a positive influencer for our growth and development. But when we do not use the cognitive aspect, the aspect for the emotions, again it will be a disaster for us. So during this COVID-19 period, it is a terrible period for all the people throughout the world. It's a global disaster. We must say, we can say it is a pain for the whole world, especially for India, where we have differentiated people at all levels and at all levels of needs, with all levels of difficulties of living. For India, it's a challenge only, but our people are really great. We are really great with lot of difficulties. Also, we are able to control at some point, though it comes and goes. At the COVID-19 first time last year and all, we had lot of problem in the initial period. Then it went down, the curve went down. Again, the second surge came. Again, we are going to expect the third one also. But even then, we are able to control irrespective of so many hurdles in our country, particularly the economical difference and the population also. But no, the main thing is our emotions. I think most of us, in even the teacher community, we are supposed to be emotionally balanced, because in the training itself we are taught about the individual difference, and we are taught about the importance of emotional balance and emotional stability. And during the practice also, we are taught how to control our emotions. Though one or two here and there in the teacher community also, we are finding glitches with reference to the emotional imbalance. though we are taught to be, we were also at stake during this period. We had a lot of problems because of this emotions. This emotions is so great that it will have lot of impact on all our developments, all the walks of life, all the developmental aspects. Now, particularly the self-confidence, it attacks, it has a direct attack. Especially when you are, when you yourself, or when your family member, or when your known people are affected because of this pandemic, and you don't know what is going to happen, that time the self-confidence will be affected. What happens is, when emotional balance attacks the self-confidence, we will take a wrong decision. During this period, decision making is also very important. How we take the decision, irrespective of taking this pandemic protocol prevention measures and all we maintain. Irrespective of that, many people I have seen being there 1 week, and the next week they disappear into the air. So it will have a lot of impact on the self-confidence, your academic level, your economical level, or your social status. Nothing will protect. So during that time, this emotional balance will have lot of impact. If we are emotionally balanced during the crisis, we can during the crisis, then we are great. When we are very emotionally balanced and emotionally stable, then we will have the self-confidence. Because of the self-confidence, we will be able to take the right decision. That is more important. Right decision we will be taking, and we will take, when we take a right decision, we will not have any grief, or we will not have any thinking that we could have taken another decision, or we will not have any doubts on on the options we take during the crisis. So this pandemic period is a crisis period. Everybody, from the small to the old people, to the young to the old people, we need this emotional balance and emotional stability. Because I will not say that the young child, a small child, will have emotional balance to their age level. According to their age level, they will be having their emotions. And being an adult, we should know how to maintain their emotions, how to balance their emotions. We are facing lot of problems now. See, now also this webinar has become a famous one in this academic arena and other arena also. For all the meetings also, they are doing through the webinars only. So what is happening here? We will have we will be having lot of satisfaction and confidence when we speak face to face. Now I am not seeing anybody's face here. I'm just seeing the boxes here and there, and now at present I'm not seeing any boxes also. Just my slide I'm able to see. So what is happening is, it has influenced all the arena, even the knowledge giving, knowledge taking, sharing of emotions. All that is a very big question now. So each individual need to think about how we can balance our emotions, so that we can retain our self-confidence. And as madam also has talked about self-esteem, that is also very important. The self-confidence will lead to the self-esteem or the self-respect, which will have an influence on the decision making we are going to take, which is very important during this period. So what is this emotional balance? We are talking about emotional balance. Emotional balance, you all know, everybody knows what is an emotional balance. We say that it is the stability of the emotion, that is the person who will not be shaken by any incidents or any occurrence in the society, or he is like any wood, or like a vegetable. We will say that word is also used, but that is not the right thing. The emotional balance is as the slide speaks, it is the ability to be calm and clear headed and calm. Means we will be calm, we will not be jumping over our emotions, even if we are angry, or if we are grief stricken, or we are sad, or we may be in pleasure. We will not show that in its heightened form. Everything will be balanced. So particularly emotional balance we show during this period, this COVID-19 period, which is a stressful situation, and it is a crisis also. So what happens is, when we do not show the emotions, heightened emotions, that will catch the others also in the environment, or our near and dear also will be very calm. For example, if see, we are emotionally attached to our family members, to our near and dear, that is our friends, whom we are meeting daily. So we will be emotionally attached when one of them is affected by this COVID-19. How stressful we will be feeling. Our emotions will be first attacked. So we will lose our balance, we will lose our stability. But during that time, when our cognition, when our cognitive ability will be useful during that time, it will help us to balance our emotions. So when we balance our emotions, when we put aside that emotion, immediately what emotion we'll be getting, will be afraid of what? About the negative end of this COVID-19, about losing the person. So yeah, we will not be thinking immediately, that thought will not come that he will be treated or she will be treated, and she will come out of it. Immediately we'll get a fear. Immediately that fear will be there, which will push us from the balance. So we should not lose that balance. During that time, what we should do, if we have emotional balance, we will be able to take the right decision of what suggestions to give and how to look after them. In addition, when the family members or your close people are affected, you will be directly taking care. When the others, when your neighbors, or when your close friend is affected, you will not be able to go and take care directly. So though you want to do, you may not be able to take care. That time also your emotions will be affected. So during that time, you must take intelligent decisions by having the balance, by helping them indirectly. Though we have a right to explain that when they do not have direct people to take care, then we can get down. Otherwise, we can make arrangements. Crowding is also of no use, to that sick person. So we must be able to take a correct decision, correct solution to the problem during the crisis. So this emotional balance is very necessary during all situations, particularly during the crisis like now we are in. So what is a confident person, that is self-confidence, how does it affect? Why, we all know that self-confidence is nothing but when we believe in ourselves, in our ability to take the right decision. When we have a self-confidence, we will not have any doubts. When we have a belief, we will not have any doubts. So when do we get this self-confidence? Self-confidence we get when we have total knowledge about something. when we are going to take or decide upon some solution to a problem, we must understand about the problem totally, full picture about the problem we need to have. This situation, this crisis is also the same thing. When we have a total picture about this COVID period, and when we have updated about the knowledge about this COVID-19, we will certainly have self-confidence about managing the crisis if it comes to us or to the people who are near and dear. So who is a confident person? We can say that who will believe in oneself, and they will believe what is right and what is not right. And even when you believe, when your belief is not very popular, even then you will have self-confidence to go according to the belief. So yeah, usually a self-confident person, he will be able to take risk. He will not be afraid about taking the risks, because he is sure about what he is thinking is right, and what he is thinking is going to develop something, what he is thinking is going to solve a problem. So when we have self-confidence, we will be able to take the risk, and we will be able to save people during the such situation. So then another thing is, when a self-confident person makes mistakes, or he will admit the mistake. Never a self-confident person will throw the blame on others for some result of his own decision. So when we take a decision, we will be able to accept the result of that decision. So that is also very, very important during this situation. So another thing is, a self-confident person will be able to accept a compliment. Compliment is when somebody is appreciating you. We will not be having a doubt about that appreciation. We will not have a doubt, means we will not think that we are not eligible for that compliment. So we will be accepting that compliment when we are self-confident. And usually a self-confident person will be very positive in nature, and he will be spreading the positive air around him. So this during such time, I have seen that, even I have experienced, but being a psychology student, I was able to come out of that feeling during the beginning of this COVID-19 period last year, particularly when old people and children are with you, and you are responsible for their life. Then you will be losing your confidence, and you will be very emotional. But when you when you practice some of the tips for emotional balance, now you will be gaining the balance, and you will be gaining the self-confidence. Naturally, a positive air will be surrounding you, and we will be able to take the right decision about the crisis situation. So how do we build the self-confidence? There are so many ways. There are so many ways for building the self-confidence. Particularly, these points which I have given as a general point with reference to our situation now, COVID-19 also, you can apply all these points to that. Particularly, see the points, look at what you have already achieved. So during this period, COVID-19 period, you need to take a lot of decision as an individual, as a responsible adult, as a academician. We need to take a lot of decision. Say how you will be getting self-confidence for that. We will be getting the self-confidence when we think, or when we know about the previous achievement of ours during such a situation. So you get the confidence, you get the confidence that you will be able to take the right decision during this time. For example, I'll tell you, as an academician, you need to, every one of us, I know we are taking online classes. particularly see this when during our education, the macro teaching and micro teaching and all. We all know that for macro teaching and micro teaching, we need to send our students to school. But what is happening now? There is no school. The students are not there. Schools are, many of the schools, all the schools are going through, particularly the private sector. They are having online classes. Government sector, some of the schools are they are doing. So we are not getting the we are not getting school students for giving the online practice. And I cannot say as a teacher to the student, you go look for the students, teach them in person in your village or in your place. That is very bad on my part. So what I can do, that decision I can take from my previous achievements, what I had done during such situation when something had happened for that student, or the student was not able to come to the college. What did I do? What decision I took for my own kid? So when I think about the decision I had taken, and when the result was good, the same decision I can take now. So this one, when we look at what we have achieved earlier and the result was really good, then that will give us lot of self-confidence for taking a decision during this crisis. So things, and another thing is, you will gain self-confidence when we always think about our potentiality, when we always think about our strength, not about our weakness. So I always tell my students, and I always tell all my colleague friends and my students everywhere, I say that you build upon your strength. Yeah, naturally your weakness will go down, because you will be targeting your strength. So that when you target our strengths, naturally we will be developing and our self-confidence will increase. And we also need to set the goals. Setting goals also will increase our self-confidence. During this pandemic, we were during the lockdown, we were not able to go out. We were not able to, though we were going out, we were not able to do many of the things we used to be doing before. So during this period also, we can make it fruitful, so that our self-confidence level will not go down, and it will be useful for others and for us also. The goals must be set according to the time and according to the resources we have, so that our self-confidence will be raised. And another thing is, talk yourself up is nothing but self-talk. This has helped a lot for me. Self-talk is very important, particularly during this period. Self-talk is not talking around all the time. It is nothing but you will be talking within yourself. You will be talking within yourself when you do that metacognition. It is not, when you do your metacognition, it is almost similar to that. When you do that, you will be able to build up your self-confidence. That is, for example, when you think about the pros and cons about what you are going to do or what you have already done, that will be able to build up your self-confidence. Another thing is, get a hobby. Hobby is also very useful during this COVID-19. Particularly the teens or you yourself, it will be very helpful when we develop some hobby. It can be as simple as developing a garden. So something which will build up your self-confidence. So self-confidence also needs to be developed, which can be built during this pandemic using the above said tips. See, this one I would like to say, which will affect our self-confidence. So, and the symptoms, we had lot of symptoms during this pandemic because of this emotions. So the examples are everybody would have experienced this nervousness, exciting situation or the fearful situation. During this situations, we would have got this, we would have experienced the symptoms like butterflies in stomach, raising heart, and knot in the gut. That is something blocking your throat. Like that, you would have, we all would have experienced such emotional responses. So this emotions, it will affect the self-confidence because of these responses, because we will be experiencing the voluntary response and the involuntary response. Both will be there during this COVID-19 period. So then the next one which I would like to explain to you is this. I had borrowed from Canon emotional competence model. Canon's emotional competence model. He has explained very well with reference to how we can develop the interpersonal effectiveness, personal and interpersonal effectiveness from the self-awareness. Because during this period, COVID-19 period, many things is affected. Our intrapersonal and interpersonal relationships is affected because of our emotional imbalance and the loss of self-confidence. So the awareness of this particular model will help us a lot in building up our self-confidence. So we will get our self-awareness through the emotional self-awareness, self-regard, and the reality testing. It is nothing but, I have already told you about the emotional self-awareness is nothing but what emotions we have. What emotions will arise in what situation. When we know about ourselves, we will know about the emotions we have and the emotions which will arise in which situation. And it will, because of that, we will be having the self-respect, and we will be able to show the right emotions in the right places. So the self-awareness along with the coping skills, we will be able to relate to the interpersonal skills, which will be predicting the effective relationships, and it will be resulting in the personal and interpersonal effectiveness. This is the model given by the Canon emotional competence model. It is Kate Cannon had given. Author is Kate Cannon. So this model is very effective, and it gives a lot of information with reference to how to manage during this COVID-19 period. Because self-awareness is important. Only when we have self-awareness and the coping skills, that is adjustment skills, only when we have that adjustment skills, that we will be able to develop this interpersonal skills, particularly the empathy, social responsibility, assertiveness. This is very important because during this period, COVID-19 period, we need to empathize with the already suffering people, with already influenced people, with already sick people. We need to empathize. We need to feel along with that person. We should be able to help them in some way or other for the alleviation of the pains. Similarly, we need to have the social responsibility during this period of not spreading the wrong information and not spreading the infections. We need to have the social responsibility. See, this thing is very much, though everybody knows about the social responsibility, the word is known to everybody, but the awareness and the presence of mind is very much necessary. Because the other day, when I had gone out, gone out for some shopping on for to some temple. I have seen people without mask or moving around with no social distancing and touching everywhere. That was really scary. It was really scary. Everybody knows now the COVID-19 protocol, everybody knows, but still it is not reaching their cognitive level. I feel like that, because when when that cognition is there, really we will be alert each and every minute. This is such a situation. This situation is such a one that we are responsible for our own safety, and we are also responsible for others' safety around us. So the social responsibility is also very much necessary. And assertiveness is when we are very firm about what you know, and when you are very firm about correcting others if they are wrong in what you know. Because if during such a situation, in this situation, we should not feel shy, or we should not feel why do we say or why do we bother. So when we see people around us not taking care about this COVID-19, we should not feel shy in telling them on their face that you are creating a mess, or you are infecting others, or you may get infected. We openly we can talk. I do that. Now I do that, and I scold anybody, or no scolding in some situation, or telling rashly or straight on the face that you are not doing right, you are doing wrong. It will affect you, and it will also affect others. So that assertiveness we need to have. We need to see this assertiveness will come only if you have correct information to give, and the correct factual information if you have, you will be able to be assertiveness. So this interpersonal skills is also important during this period, which will be predicting the effective relationships, that is interpersonal relationships, independence. Both these things will be affected. See, as I told you, when you are going to be rash, or when we are going to be talk assertively to others, particularly see during this vaccination period, many of the people, even I know, did not take vaccination. Even the teaching community also, they were so scared about the vaccination. One of my learned colleague also was arguing with me, stating that they are going to inject into me the dead virus, and why should I inject I am very normal, why should I be injected with the dead virus? He or she was arguing with me. Even then I did not stop convincing them with reference to the vaccination. So it will affect the interpersonal relationship also, when we are going to be assertive. But during this time, COVID-19 period, you need to be assertive with reference to some of the facts which needs to be followed. And this assertiveness also will lead to being independent or free, or taking the correct decision, or being independent in doing lot of things. So all these four things: self-awareness, coping skills, interpersonal skills, effective relationships, naturally will be leading to the personal and interpersonal effectiveness, and wherein you will be having the self-actualization and the happiness. So I found this competence model, Cannon's emotional competence model, to be very effective during this crisis. Then how do we manage emotions, and what is this emotions, and how is this emotions when we go into managing emotions? As we all know, it is nothing but it is the self-regulation of emotions according to the situational needs. When the situation expects you, when the environment is expecting you to be in some emotion. So that is the managing emotions during, according to the time and according to the habit, when we are going to regulate our emotion, that becomes the managing of emotions. So when we are, how we do this emotions, how do we manage these emotions? When we can manage the emotions through knowing or assessing our own emotions. Now, by understanding our emotions, when understanding our emotions is, see, when we are going to panic, we are, as a psychologist, many of you must be, all our team, many of you I think would have been from the education background or from any background, or from you will by experience also, we know that when we know about our emotions, we know that which will give us anger. To our own kid, we will be saying, don't do this. When you do that, I'll be angry. I'll slap you, or I will scold you. I'll be angry. We'll be using that those words usually. So what does that mean? We know that which gives us anger. We know that which will be giving us a joy or happiness. So, but no, every emotions needs to be balanced or needs to be maintained before going into any conclusion. Because as a psychology background person, or as a teacher, or as a parent, we all know that taking decisions or coming to a conclusion during a heightened emotions is very wrong. So we need to wait. We need to wait to come to a composure. So knowing our emotions or understanding our emotions will help us to manage the emotions. So we need to develop some competencies. Developing competencies is very necessary for managing the emotions. So there are many behavioral guidance, this emotional quotient. We know about emotional intelligence. We know emotional development. We know about emotional maturity. So all these are because of the emotional quotient we have. So yeah, for improving emotional quotient and the positive attitudes, we need to follow certain behavioral guidance. First and foremost, as I'm telling from the beginning of my lecture, we need to create self-awareness. That is, we need to respect ourselves, we need to be very positive, and we need to be true to ourselves. That is, respect ourselves is we must never feel, must never belittle ourselves. Belittling ourselves is very bad. We will not be able to grow. So we must respect ourselves. We must respect our potentiality. We must respect our limitations. Limitations need not always be a flaw. So every individual will have their own potentiality, their own limitations. Every individual will be having. It will be different. Ours may be different from the other, from the even from among the identical twins also. We know that there will be individual difference, and the intra-individual difference will be there. So we need to respect ourselves, and the positive attitude. Positive attitude is very important. Very important, because and during this period, COVID period, this is very important. When I always say that your body listens to your mind. We all know that, we have experienced. When we say I'm going to have fever, and you continuously contemplate, that is nothing but meditation. It is a negative way of meditating. So that is, when you think deeply about something, you will be having that. Okay, so your positive attitude will naturally create a positive atmosphere within yourself and around yourself. This is very important. Very important, and during this crisis, this is very much it will have a lot of impact in managing the situation. And we must always be true to ourselves. True to ourselves is, see, we must not show false prestige. false prestige, particularly during this period, will not help at all. When you need to be, many I have seen, many people I have seen in my surrounding, or in my fraternal friends, or in the family also. Many will be saying that I'm self-dependent. I don't depend on others. I do everything on my own. I don't want anybody's help. That is not true always. I feel pity on them, because directly or indirectly they depend on others. Without their knowledge, they depend on others. Here in this situation, we cannot be of self-help alone. We need to be, but we need to get guidance from others. We cannot expect others to be physically present to help us during this situation, but we can get guidance from others. We can get help from others. From an experienced person, we can get help, so that we may take the right direction. So this is also very important. We must be true to ourselves. We must understand what we want and what we do not want, and what we can do and what we cannot do. That we need to be very very knowledgeable, or we need to be clear about that thing. The second one, the second behavioral guidelines for improving our emotional quotient is managing the emotions. This managing emotions or regulating the emotions, we can do through many ways. That is differing judgment, or parking the problems, be flexible, manage your non-verbal communication. These are some of the ways. We all know that being judgmental is very bad. Very, very bad in many of the situations. Sudden, and particularly during emotions, we should not judge anything or anybody. So we must postpone the judgment. Maybe judging is necessary during some time, during some situation. It is necessary, but do not take or do not do any judgment during the emotions. Postpone it to some time till the emotions are stable. Then another thing, a second way of managing emotions is park the problems. Is made see, detach you put the don't take the problem within yourself. That many of us do. See, when something happens to our near and kith or kin, when they are having COVID-19, when many of us experience that during in the family or in the department or among the friends, if somebody is having some symptoms, so they were affected by COVID-19. If we are going to have one or two of that symptoms, immediately we think that we are having COVID-19 and we get into a panic. So that should not be done during this situation. You must place the problem outside yourself. We must not take it personally. We must keep the problem outside. In all situations, it is like that. When we keep the problem outside ourselves and when we analyze the problem, then we will be able to come to a right solution. That is very necessary during this period. It is very, very necessary. We cannot take all the symptoms to COVID-19 because some of the symptoms are similar, and some may be COVID-19, some may not be COVID-19. Many people I have seen, because of they would have been very strong because of this emotions and because of this panicky situation. They have got the heart attack and they have gone. That is a very pathetic thing. So we must always park the problems outside ourselves and think about the solution, analyze the problem. So be flexible, go with the flow. means it's nothing but we must be flexible for flexible about solving the problem, about the situation. Also, we must be very flexible. We must not be very adamant about our habits, or we must not be adamant about what we know, or we must not be adamant about our ego feelings. So we must go with the flow. That is, we must go according to the situation. For example, I will say, if you are very scared, say one of the in some places, or in some towns or cities, you may not have the right place to get admitted, or you may not have the hospitals, or you may not have the right doctors to guide you. So you must take the guidance from the people who are there, who are close to you, who have already experienced the problem, who have already come out of the problem, and you must go with the flow with the solution they had taken. So that will help you in coming out of the problem and managing your emotions. So our non-verbal communication is also very important in managing the emotions. So we may be very scared, in particularly in the family. If somebody is affected, we will be very scared. We know, and it is a natural feeling. We'll be very scared, but the affected people will be even more scared. So our fear should not be shown externally through our body language. It should not be there. Verbally or non-verbally, we must not express our fear, so that it will contaminate the other individual. So that is very important. And the third way for emotional or the behavioral guidance for developing our emotional quotient and self-confidence is motivating self. This is very important, because we will lose motivation in many of the situations, and during this crisis it happens a lot. So striving to improve, achieve high standards, being committed to achieve your goals, taking the initiative and seeing the opportunity, being optimistic even in the face of difficulties and setbacks. These points which I have given is for general points I had given, but we can apply it to our this situation also. When we are applying to this situation, we must motivate ourselves. For example, how we can motivating ourselves by following the protocols, or by following the COVID-19 protocols, when we are doing it very strictly, and when we are motivating others also, that if you follow this, you have a very less chance of getting infected. So that will motivate yourself. You will be motivated when you follow the same protocols of the people who are infected or who are not infected, and when you are going to follow the medical guidelines, then it will increase our emotional quotient, and our self-confidence and our motivation level will be increased. So that is the third step in behavioral guidance. And the fourth one is understanding or responding to others' emotions. This is very important. Very important during this crisis. This is very important, because we must never underestimate, or we must never belittle somebody else's emotions. Emotions are very subjective, and emotions are very sensitive thing. So we must be very sensitive towards others' emotions. We must not say I'm very strong. I don't have that emotions. Why do you have? We cannot ask such questions. So that is that question does not show that we are emotionally matured or we are emotionally balanced. So during this period, it is a very, very sensitive period. I have seen people in the family and around me also being emotionally broken, emotionally they have shattered also during this period because of fear. Particularly the comorbid people. Comorbid people are very, very scared, very scared that this is a situation to be careful, but this is not a situation to be scared and going into a wrong solution. So that is also very poor. But no, such people, comorbid people also, you cannot say that you should not have that emotions. We can guide them properly, understanding their emotions, pacifying them and guiding them is very important during this period. So the comorbid people and all, what do we say? We say that take care about yourself, follow the protocols, and we also tell them to be healthy, physically healthy we ask them to be. So when we are guiding them properly, naturally their emotional level also will come into the normal level. So the point says that being sensitive towards and understanding other people, making the needs and interests of others your point of reference, furthering the developments of other people, being tuned in socially and politically. That is, being tuned in socially and politically means what we need. We know that it is nothing but being aware about what is available in the society, what is available for the infections or for being treated, what is available in the environment. We should be aware about, so that we will be able to guide others during their emotional outbursts, and we will be able to understand others' emotions and help them during their emotions. So that is also very, very important. Here, during this pandemic, we had lot of trouble with reference to the children, to the teens and the elders and people with the disabilities, health workers and stigmatization. These four influence was very high during this pandemic. The emotional balance and the self-confidence, this has affected very much with these people, because the children, they do not understand the situation, though now they are very clever and they are scared also. The adult are taking care about them, they are also emotionally affected, because children, they need to play. Children, they want their peer group. They are not able to play with their peer group. They are always stuck to this technological boxes. So what is happening? They are affected emotionally. They are showing temper tantrums at homes. They are unable to bring out their pent up energies. This is the case with the children and the teens. Teens also the same. They are already called as terrible teens. During this pandemic, they are unable to spend their energies and they are having lot of trouble. As an adult, we need to understand their emotions. We need to help them managing their emotions by spending lot of time with them, by guiding them correctly and making them use their energies. This is very important during this period. And elders also same thing. Elders and people with the disabilities, the same thing. So elders, we know they are very sociable. They want people around them, not only the family members, they want others also, their peer group also same. They are in their childhood stage. We all know that the elders, old age people, they are in the returning to the childhood stage. So just like children, they also want their social group, that is being affected. And the people with the disabilities, already they are having problems with due to their physical physical problems, and with this pandemic they are unable to get the necessary inputs they would like to get, and they are also facing a lot of problems. And the protocol, it is very difficult to be maintained with children, teens, elders, and the physically challenged people. Health workers, we know, hats off to them. They are God sent people, I feel. With lot of respect, I say that the health workers, they are doing their work excellently well. They are front group people. Many of them have been affected. They are emotionally, their people, they also have their own families. Though the families are very scared and very emotionally shattered because of the work of health workers, but they are doing excellent work. So that is affecting the emotional balance and self-confidence of the health workers and the family group. And another thing is the stigmatization because of this COVID-19. Not because COVID-19, we all know that it is changing. It is changing so much. It is changing that the shape is changing. We are getting different forms of virus. We are expecting more infections. So it has lot of stigma, particularly in the beginning period. We had lot of stigma in this attached to this COVID-19, but now it is reduced a little. Even then, we don't know how far it is going to take, how much labeling it is going to have. We still have to wait and see, but I pray that the stigma will not lead to labeling, and it will not affect the people who were infected and have come out of it. So that is a very important thing. The maintaining emotional balance and self-confidence during pandemic, as we all know, that it is very, very important, because we need to know about the effects, and we need to know about the clinical features and transmission patterns and management. All these things we all know. But no, how we can maintain is we need to spend God's given time for the fast moving world. I think fast moving world and fast moving culture, God's given time. I feel that you have the time now to spend with the family members, with the children, with the elderly in the family, with lot of attachment is being developed now, and involvement is being developed now. And if we follow healthy exercises, sports, and scheduled routines, and when we do not take the information we get from the social media directly to the heart, when we have it only for the awareness, then we will be healthy emotionally. Our emotional balance will be there. If it is going to scare us, then our emotional balance will be pushed off. So that is very necessary. And still I think the public awareness, though it is there, lot of public awareness is there now, with reference to the vaccination, with reference to the protocols to be maintained. Lot of campaigning is being done. Even with all that, still I'm seeing people who are very careless about this infections. It is all because of we are not used to it. This generation, we are not used to it. All of us, we are not used to this type of protocol in maintaining our health. But that needs to be taken seriously, and that awareness needs to be developed mouth to mouth. Everybody needs to be very careful, and we need to spread the awareness from mouth to mouth. That means we need to say, if somebody is not careful, we need to tell them, we need to create awareness in them that they need to be careful. They are needed in the society. So we all know from this diagram, you will know that we need to focus. We need to focus on the adaptability, empathy, self-awareness, emotional balance, and the positive outlook. All these 5 things we need to focus. At the same time, to maintain our emotions and manage our emotions and gain our self-confidence, retain our self-confidence, and be healthy and be a productive individual and be a developing individual, and spread the positive air around us and develop our society at large. So with that, I would like to pen my speech. I think I have given some of my thoughts. I thank the organizers who have given me the opportunity to give some of my feelings or some of my emotions with reference to this COVID-19. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, ma'am, for your thought-provoking session. You have mentioned major psychological construct, which is essential in this pandemic situation. You have mentioned particularly what are all the pandemic influence and how to overcome that. Really, these are all the need of an hour, ma'am, and we are really delighted. And thank you for your insightful and thought-provoking session.
Thank you, one and all.
Now I request Dr. M. Shanmuga Revadi ma'am, Co-Project Director, ICSSR Impress, Alapa University College of Education, to propose vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Gita. Good afternoon to one and all gathered here on this international webinar. I deem to be great honor and privilege to propose vote of thanks on this international webinar. First and foremost, I thank our well-wisher Dr. R. Swaminathan sir, member of VC Officiating Committee and Syndicate member of Alagappa University, who has found time to deliver the keynote address for this webinar. Thank you, sir. And also I thank our Syndicate member, Professor Dr. T.R. Kurumurthy sir, for spreading motivational and spiritual words to us. Thank you, sir. I express my heartfelt thanks to our registrar, Professor Dr. C. Shekhar sir, for his support for this webinar. Thank you, sir. We are grateful to Dr. J. Balu sir, Principal, Alapa University College of Education, for his words of encouragement. Thank you, sir. I thank our Dean, Faculty of Education, Dr. J. Sujata Malini madam, for their support. Thank you, madam. My special thanks to Dr. G. Kalairasan sir, Professor and Head, Department of Education, Alapa University, for your valuable presence, sir. Thank you, sir. My special thanks to the resource persons, Dr. A. Jahitha Begum, Professor and Head, Department of Education, Gandhigram Rural Institute, Indikal, and Dr. P.G. Amroli, Professor and Head, Department of Education, Sri Padmavati Mahila Ishwa Vidyalayam, Andhra Pradesh, for their valuable contribution. Thank you, dignitaries. I thank our organizing secretaries, Mr. M. Parimala Fatima ma'am and Dr. G. Rajeshwari ma'am, Assistant Professors of Alapa University College of Education, for their commitment in this successful organization of this webinar. Thank you, ma'am. My heartfelt thanks to all the heads of the departments, the faculty members and research scholars of our own institution and all other departments. I thank the technical supporters of MIS of Alapa University, and I thank all other participants who are present here for your patient listening, and we hope that you would have understood the importance of soft skills and the development of self-confidence. Once again, I thank one and all. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Dear participants, tomorrow, like today at 10:30 a.m., kindly join with us for second day international webinar session. Tomorrow's resource persons are Professor Sasikala Gugamurthy, Dean Faculty of Education, Open University of Sri Lanka, and Dr. K. Geeta, Principal, Faculty of Education, Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute, Madurai. Kindly join with us. Thank you all.